Yesterday, we were at looking at what needs to be done in terms of blocking or avoiding. So we looked at dasana, then we looked at the samvara, then we looked at patisevana, then we looked at adhivasana, then we looked at parivajjana, and today we do Vinodanā, Bhāvanā, and that will end. Vinodanā. Vinoda. What is Vinoda? Anyone? Any idea? We even keep a name by name. In India, they keep the name Vinod.
Joking, sir?
What?
She's saying joking. Joking means Vinod means happy or about.
No.
Is it a hobby?
No. What happened? Everyone became silent.
The English meaning mentioned there is a dispelling. So.
It talks about, dispelling. If I read out that star, it says this section shows that rather than being non-judgmental about one's thoughts, a meditator should recognize and dispel those that are harmful. The first step, however, is dispelling harmful thought. Recognize they're harmful, which requires 1 minute. Somebody is joining. I don't know why these people join so late. Okay, so let's see what it really means. Is that it's actually amusement in terms of Vinoda. So if I take the exact meaning of it, it is delighting into something. Or rather, you amuse yourself with something. So if I keep a name called Vinod, Nod is Nodana is enjoyment. Vinodana means extreme enjoyment. Okay, that means extreme amusement, highest amusement. Now, in this context, where Buddha is using the same word in a different tone, this is the only word where he has taken from the usual contextual meaning of Indian society and repackage it in a totally different way. It's a name which has been there everywhere, but he has taken it and made it different in terms of pahatapa. So it's if we look at it, I'm getting pissed off. If we look at what is this Vinodanā in terms of Buddha, is putting pahatapa. So what it means is remove the amusement. So it's like abandoning the thing, the very thing you are amused of. So these āsavas, which are coming because of delight or amusement, you directly see them and remove, meaning don't get involved with them. And hence, they put the word dispelling, which is correct word what they have put, but we need to know why they have put that. It's because you are removing the enjoyment portion of it. Why do you want to do that? Because it will create raga, dvesha, moha. So he says, uppannam kama vitakkam nadi vaseti pajahati vinodeti bhyanti karoti anabhavam gameti uppannam vyapada vitakkam uppannam vihimsa vitakkam. So, to uppanne papake akusale dhamme nadi vaseti pajahati vinodeti bhyanti karoti anabhavam gameti. So now we have to go with all of these words. Anyone having any idea what it means? Except for what you are reading there in English. Okay, if you are not able to get it, no problem. Vasa is to stay. Adhivasa, exceedingly stay. So they stays forever. Na adhivaseti, does not allow him to stay a single moment. Yes, Arif.
Yeah, I think it's the same as Adivatana in the previous section.
Yes. So, if you entertain kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, vihimsa vitakka, then they will make their home and they don't live. Vasa is to stay. So, na adhivaseti is, I will not tolerate. And I will not remain with. Ha, paja, ha is to cut. Okay. And pa, like pamoja, is to extensively be in that cutting without losing mindfulness. Moja is enjoyment. Pamoja is extreme enjoyment. Like that. So if you affix pa, it makes it extensive, increases. Pa. Ha is to cut. Han, arhan, ha to cut. So who is a arha? Who has cut ari is arha. So if we take iti piso bhagava arham, is cut off the circling. Arhan, ha is to cut. So paha, na, pahana is to completely cut off at the root. Extensive, cleansing. Okay, vinodeti. In this sentence, it becomes to drive out, to throw out, to not entertain, to not get caught up. in the details. Let's say there's a box which is kept. The idea is to just peep in and see what is there inside that. We just come, take the box, throw it out. It doesn't matter whether it had gold in it, or silver in it, or money in it, or whatever was in it. Because if I give adivasana, the kama vitakka will start. If somebody has given very less, vyapada vitakka will start. And vihimsa vitakka will start. Vitakka is to debate. I don't want to sit and debate what is there inside that box. Just take the box and throw it away. And that is what he's saying. Nadivaseti, pajahati, vinodeti, vyanti karoti. Karoti is to do. Anta is ending. So bring to an end. No trace remains. Vyanti karoti. Anta is ending. Okay. Vyanti is to completely end it. Anabhavam gameti. Bhava is to become. Anabhava is not to become, which is non-existence. Gameti, gamana, is to go. Ga is to go. Gamana is to completely go. So make it completely go, which is total eradication. Clear? So if we want to look at it, nadivaseti, he will not allow. Pajahati, intentionally abandons it. Vinodeti, throws it out. Vyanti karoti, it's about destruction. Anabhavam gameti, make it extinct. That means in the chitta, it doesn't arise. So the next chitta which comes doesn't have kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, avihimsa vitakka, which is samma sankappo, and now it's straightened, entering into the panya. And that will cause sammadhitti to happen. So we started with samma vacha, samma kammanto, samma jivo. Then we looked at samma vayamo, samma sati, samma samadhi. And to do that, we looked at samma sankappo. So as soon as the samadhi is got, the sammadhitti also will start to work. So this is how the sila samadhi panya will keep on working. So those people who cannot sit, who cannot do sitting meditation, standing meditation, walking meditation, or any meditation we are talking about in terms of awareness, are not able to do it because of kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, vihimsa vitakka. These are the three vitakkas. Either of the three is dangerous. It will not allow you to come out of kama. That person just struggles. He just feels upset for every damn thing in this world. And he thinks his family is the cause for it. Actually, he himself is the cause for all of that. His family is just giving him a nice dosage of medicine for him to work. So if somebody thinks that they have to throw out the family, in fact, he has to throw himself out rather than the family out. Okay. So it will be foolishness to say that I want to come out of family. You are already out of family. What do you mean you want to come out of family? If you do these four, nadivaseti, pajahati, vyanti karoti, anabhavam gameti, there's a family. You are staying with some people. If I were to go to a monastery, I would have stayed with some people. If I had stayed in somewhere else, I would have stayed with same amount of people. And if it is home, I'm going to stay with the same amount of people. Today at my home, I have Ashwin as a new family member, let's say. And another few days' time, some more people are going to join. All our family members, how does it matter? So I have 3 family members who are permanently residing and a few more family members who are residing temporarily. But they all are family members anyway. So why should I make a differentiation between the wife and Ashwin? They are the same. They're just a family member. If I make wife, I am doing the Vinodanā, amusing it. That's the problem. Now, after doing Vinodanā, I am saying my wife is the cause for my problem. I am an idiot. It's not the wife who is causing the problem. It is the concept of wife, what I have, is the problem. You idiot, remove the concept from your mind. Do not allow it to entertain. Because that comes into kama vitakka. And since wife is a problem to me, it becomes vyapada vitakka. And now I want to do himsa on that person, saying that you are the cause of my problem, which is vihimsa vitakka. Which is crazy. I am adding āsavas and I am blaming someone for that. It's not correct. What I should do is, I should remove the concept of wife, not the wife. There has been no wife. Why don't you work on that? So I should work on the concept of wife. I should work on the concept of the son. I should work on the concept of money. I should work on the concept of house. I should work concept of the state or the city. Then I should work out on the concept of state. I should then work out the concept of country. If I work out on all of this, then the kama vitakka will not be there. How will the kama vitakka be? Not there. Then the vyapada vitakka will not be there. And the ahimsa, vihimsa vitakka will not be there. So I'm not going to have any violence on myself or others. Otherwise, I'm having violence over my wife. What that poor lady has done. She's as much suffering as I am suffering. And I am saying that you are the cause of my suffering, which is idiotic. I should be ashamed of saying you are the cause of my suffering. In fact, I should appreciate that she is doing something so that my vyapada, everything comes out. It's good. Somebody is challenging. It's a good one. So I should do that. So when I see from dasanena pahatapa to samvara, like that, now I see the mistake. I'm doing a Vinodanā. So I will cut it out. I'll take that box which says wife. I take the box which says son. I take the box which says mother-in-law. I take the box which says house. I take out the box which says Bangalore. I take out the box which says Karnataka. I take out the box which says India. And throw it out. Without this, can a kama vitakka be there? No. If kama vitakka is not there, the vyapada vitakka also will not be there. And vihimsa vitakka will not be there. In its place comes Nekkamma Sankappo, Abhyapada Sankappo, Avihimsa Sankappo. What a change. When I threw the boxes forever, burned it, Anabhavam Gameti, Gamana, completely gone. Does it exist? So from the chitta, I removed the wife. In its place, I have another human being who is so much struggling like me. So I find no difference between Anjana, who is taking the role of a wife, versus, one second, versus Ashwin. And on Thursday and on Friday, so many ladies are going to come. No difference. Not that they all become my wife. When I say no difference, there is no wife. So then what we should designate? Nothing. Why should you designate? Because the moment I designate, it becomes a problem. It's Vinodanā. So you're not going to designate. Why? It is Samvara. No designation. So no symbol. Absolutely. Animitta. Now that is the beauty. So when so-called people come, you do so-called thing. That's it. So just like I went to Australia, so-called Australia, to meet so-called Bobby, and met so-called Benin, and I went to so-called Queensland, and so-called, and so-called, and so-called, but this is so-called. In the same way, I met so-called Ariu, and I went to so-called Mountain View, I went to so-called San Francisco, and also met so-called, let us say, Chirag, and so-called Brinda, and all of it. So the so-called is how you don't associate. There is no association. So when there is no association, I am done. There is nothing I am carrying. So that's the nicest thing I can do about it. So no Vinodanā. So started with the dasana, looked at kama and bhava, and now I slowly cutting it off, and now I come to a stage where it doesn't exist. So I now can get into Bhāvanā. Correct? How nicely Buddha lays out. It's not random, it's step by step. First, dasana, by seeing. Then I do samvara. When I do samvara, the indriyas don't go here and there. Then I use whatever needs to be used, patisevana. Then I do adhivasana. The unpleasant things, pleasant things, whatever's coming in, just adhivasana. Just endure it. How many years will you endure? Just 100 years. It's very less. Endure it. Then parivajjana. Avoid it. Then Vinodanā. And in the parivajjana, he says, don't sit in a thorny ground, a pit, cliff, swamp, sewer. All of that is because those places are inappropriate. Should I go to Amsterdam? Yes. Should I visit red light area? No. I don't think so I have any problem. No. No, just for watching. No. Why? It is kama vitaka. And it is inappropriate place. Should I go to Las Vegas again? No. Not at all. So next time I'm around US, should I be in Las Vegas? No. Why? It will stir up old tendencies. So instead of avoiding parivajjana, I will be doing vinoda, amusing. So what happens? I visited Las Vegas 6 times. All those memories will start to flow, which is āsava. Let's take, I go to the strip and I go to the MGM Grand. So the chitta goes back and lifts all of that and comes. Then I go to Venetian. Same. Then I see girls. Same. Yes, Harry.
Yeah, I'm just wondering because you used to visit America so many times and then you get, into enjoying of the US. But this time around, because those are no longer in you and you have very good restraint, it doesn't come. The same way, even if you go to those places, it practically wouldn't come for you, right?
It wouldn't. I'm just trying to say because there are so many people who will be listening to this and then they will say that, okay, I can go. As you seen me in the US, I never was in the US. The number of days I stayed with you, it was not looking anything. Otherwise, I would have jumped with joy to go to West Coast. If it was 2006 or 7 or 8 or whatever, only East Coast, I had such a desire to go to West Coast. And this time around when I'm in the West Coast, I didn't feel I should be in the East Coast or the West Coast or in the middle or anywhere, including Anchorage, because that was one other thing I wanted to see was Alaska. Okay, just missed Alaska. Otherwise, every time I was in US, Alaska was on top of my list to go to Anchorage. Yeah, go ahead.
I guess because at this stage, you're already at this ambhavam gameti, because you've removed everything.
Anubhavam gameti, yes.
Anubhavam
Bhava,
gameti.
there is no bhava, there is no becoming.
So it doesn't come at all, regardless of what.
It doesn't. Like in the Australia, I think Bobby can answer if he is in a talking position. He can say what did he feel of my 23 days stay in Brisbane. But anyway, so whatever. So it's like this. Again, I'm again going to Australia. So let's say I finish 8 visits to Australia. It will exceed my US visits. And then we have to see what happens. Is this Vinodanā pahattabba or not? Okay. So we need to remember this. Start with dasana, then do the samvara, then do the patisevana, adhivasana, parivajjana, vinodana. When we do all of these 6, we come to the 7th the most important one, Bhāvanā, which is actual meditation, not the closed eyes meditation, not the sitting in one corner meditation, not for sitting for 10 hours meditation. It's living meditation, complete. Because all the time you're doing all these six. Dasanena pahatabba, samvarena pahatabba, patisevana pahatabba. Once this patisevana happens, automatically the defilements start to break up. So adhivasana pahatabba, parivajjana pahatabba, then Vinodanā pahatabba. Now I've thrown the boxes out of the door. Isn't it the amazing thing is to just sit and meditate? Bhāvanā. So you will see the ending of defilements when we do the seventh, and turns the person from anagami to arhat. Or even the previous one to something else. So I'm looking forward if I go again and be with Shaniel, then the 30 plus days, what I'm going to get, I should be working on āsavas jnana. So, what will I do here? Bhāvanā. What is the Bhāvanā? Bhava is to make, is to become. So Bhāvanā is a term used to develop. It's another word is meditate, but actually it's about developing it or growing it. So then I will do the satis, this 7 bhujanga factors, which will then give me the result. So how will I do it? I will do it by 4-step process. Viveka nissitam, viraga nissitam, nirodha nissitam, vassagga parinamim. Anyone knows what it is? Viveka, eka, one. Viveka is being alone. It is discrimination between the crowd and you. Uncrowded or secluded or withdrawal or detachment or being alone, not lonely, alone. Nissita, sit is to stay. Nissita is to completely stay, which means grounded. So viveka nissitam is to be grounded on being alone. That means if I stay with my family, the my family is not there. It's being alone. But that doesn't mean that I'm not going to appreciate or collaborate or have a loving relationship with the so-called wife and the so-called son, because it is so-called. I now know it is so-called. Now it is Bhāvanā. So when they say Suttamaya, Chintamaya, Bhavanamaya, the Suttamaya is to understand the context. Chintamaya is to dwell in the mind what it is. Bhavanamaya is to grow. So the Panya, wisdom, grows in three parts. So first I need to have the Suttamaya Jnana or Suttamaya Panya. Then I have Chintamaya Panya, then Bhavanamaya Panya. So the first thing I need to do is to have Viveka Nisitam for that Bhavana. So I have three Vivekas. Kaya Viveka, seclusion from the body, or the collection of 32 parts of not myself. Or if I take 5 dhatus, none of them is myself. That means first I start with eso na mama, eso nahamasmi, neso me atta. When it comes to chitta viveka, I will do the following. I will cleanse out by Vinodanā, which I have been doing. So the upadhis completely get destroyed. Without upadhi, they can't be in existence. So I'll make it non-existent. So I'm grounded upon viveka nisitam. Okay, now we come to the viraga nisitam. Viraga is dispassion, but raga as such is coloring. So viraga is to become virakta. There's another word which Buddha uses, virakta. Rakta is blood. So virakta is cutting out that blood, meaning discoloration. Every relationship is colored. Wife is colored. Husband is colored. Children are colored. House is colored. Road is colored. State, country, continent, blah, blah, all that is color. Just remove it. Nisita, stay with it, ground with it. And when I do viveka nisitam, viraga nisitam, nirodha automatically happens. Extinction. Because I'm suffering with concepts. The concept is gone. So it ceases to exist. Vasagga parinamim. Vasagga. Sagga is to hold. Vasagga is not to hold, which means abandoning or to letting go, relinquishment. Parinama, as per desired result. So parinamim is as desired, as per the experiment. So in Sati Sambojjhanga, I can see these three things. Viveka nisitam, viraga nisitam, nirodha nisitam, vasakka parinamim. Patisankha yoniso, sati sambojjhang bhaveti. Just like patisevana. He says the same here on Sati Sambojjhanga. And what is the meaning of Sambojjhanga? Anyone? What do you think?
Factors of awakening. Factors of awakening of mindfulness.
That's correct, but factors of awakening means what? What does that mean?
7 factors of awakening we heard about.
I know that, that's correct. But what it involves, when we say, what is the true meaning of Sambodhanga?
Is it related to limbs? Like,
Okay, let's understand. Sam, together, bodhi, from which that bhoja has come, awakening, because the root word of bhoja is buddh, to awaken. Anga is limb, or rather part. Sambodhanga is something to do with a factor of enlightenment or a factor of awakening, which will completely transform the person from A, which is Inri, to B, which is Ari. He's circling and now he stopped circling. Or from samsarana to nissarana. Okay. In 3 steps, or rather 4 steps. What are these 4 steps? Viveka nissitam, viraga nissitam, nirodha nissitam, vasagga parinami. In 4 steps, the person is moved from A with āsavas, to B without āsavas. So it is Sambodhanga. And in Sambodhangam means plural, not singular. That means it involves these 4. And hence it is Sati Sambodhangam. Okay. So if you take the Sati Sambodhanga, it includes the 4 Satipatthana. What does he do? He does kaye kayanupasya viharati atapi sampajano satima vineya loke abhijja domanasan, like that, with Vedana, Chitta and Dhamma. So then his sati is completely done. First Sambodhanga factor is done. So you need to know what is the meaning of Sambodhyanga is Sambodhanga. Okay. And then we come to the second one. Dhamma Vichaya Sambodhanga. It means investigation of Dhamma. Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. That's all is Dhamma Vichaya Sambodhanga. One single line. This is the same question which I had asked a monk in Australia when I and Janak had gone. I asked him, do you know one single line or a sentence which will talk about Buddha Dhamma? He didn't have an answer. I told him it is Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. It includes everything. And that's the reason when Assaji said this, Upatissa became Sariputta. Because he became a Sotapan. It includes everything. Any question from anyone? All good?
Sir, what you said one line, please explain.
This one, yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam, that one?
Yes, yes.
Yam means that kinchi, little, samudaya, arising, dhamma, any article, object, event, phenomena, whatever you want to call that as in English. Sabba, all, tam, that nirodha ceases, as dhamma. Yes, Mrityunjay, in the end, Kondanya says, Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. It is there in Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta, you are right. But I'm just talking about one single sentence which talks about Buddha Dhamma. Anyway, thanks for that. So basically, Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam means that if anything is arising out of a cause, it will go out of existence when the cause is removed. So if this body has come due to a cause, the body will go away when the cause is removed. If the consciousness has come due to a cause, the consciousness goes away when the cause is removed.
So it is the same as cause effect theory.
Yes, it is the Patisamutpada.
Yeah.
But this is more easier to understand than the 12-link formula what is shown, so it is easy. Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. If you get that, you can walk straight into the Arya Magga. Another way to know whether you are Sotapanna or not is through this. You will see the Patisamutpada, not the 12-link. You will see iti imasmim sati idam hoti imassa uppada idam uppajjati iti imasmim asati idam na hoti imassa nirodha idam nirujjati. That's what he's saying there. Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti.
So this is also very fundamental, and we can remove all our suffering out of that.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Sure. I went to this Maha Mebenwa monastery along with Janak. This is there in Anuradhapura in Sri Lanka as well. So I told him that I was there in that monastery when I had gone with Lasanta. So he was looking at me and then he was asking me about Pali and this and that. I asked him, sir, can I ask you a question? So I just threw a question to him. What is a single line, a single sentence which talks about Buddha Dhamma? What Buddha says? Entire thing in just one sentence. And he was stumped. He couldn't answer. Then I told him, this means iti imasmim sati idam hoti imassan uppada idam nirujjati iti imasmim asati idam na hoti imassa nirodha idam nirujjati. Okay. So that will then lead to the third one. What is the third one? Virya Sambojjhanga. What does that do? Because you have seen it, you have penetrated it, so deeply penetrated, your mental effort just stays. It doesn't waver. How do you know? You will not get tired. As long as Dhamma is there, not tired, physically and mentally. You will be fresh and fresh and fresh, irrespective wherever you're traveling or whatever you're doing, doesn't matter. Because you have penetrated Dhamma Vichaya. So your ardent, unrelenting mental effort is there in the practice. The practice is not sitting for 10 hours. The practice is seeing Dhamma arising and passing away. Yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. Then that creates piti, which is joy. Because you are so nice in seeing everything arising, passing in, call it as 5 aggregates or dhatus or ayatana, you are there. And that gives you pasiddhi, which means calmness. Okay. Siddhi, pasaddhi is actually a state of mind which doesn't require anything more. If you add a pa in front of it, becomes extensive. So pasaddhi means it's so complete. Don't want anything. And now that completion can be called as calmness. Because there's no other English word to see that. And that gives samadhi, unified as a whole, and it stills the mind. And the last one which comes is upekha, a balanced mental composure and a sense of detachment. It is attached, detached. Looks attached, the person is really enjoying, so-called enjoying everything that is happening around him, but is completely detached from the very thing it seems like attaching. And that, the very moment of it, you can still verify and see the first time it happens, that person becomes sotapanna. The second time it happens, he can see the sakadagami for himself. And the third time it happens is an anagami. Again it happens the fourth time. It's an arhat. Okay. Yes, Sarif.
Yeah, I'm guessing it doesn't mean in your meditation you don't get to upekkha, right? I mean, you would, but it's not the upekkha, worthy of becoming arhat. Say.
No.
So it's a different quality in that.
There are many qualities of upekha. So I'm still developing. I know how I'm developing. So there's a difference previous to coming to US, after coming to US, after leaving US, coming to India, before going to Australia, and coming from Australia. There's a lot of fast movements, differences. So the upekha is literally increasing. It's differing from the previous. Like that. Also, that sense, Sabbāsava Sutta. and sub all, because there are 6 for 4 āsavas, 6 steps, and the 7th step cuts off the āsava. Yes, sir. Mrityunjay, tell me.
Sir, my question is, in Sabbāsava Sutta, it is stopping at this Satta but whereas in Bodhipatya Dhamma, there is one more step after this, that is Noble Eightfold Path.
Ariyatangika Maggo. It is a singular one. Ariyatangika Maggo. It's not Ariyatangika Magga. It is Ariyatangika Maggo, singular. Maggo O. It ends with O, means singular. A means plural.
Okay.
The reason why it is not included here is because when you do this, you already had Sila Samadhi Panya. So the 37 factors of enlightenment, these 8 Attangika is not included in this, in the āsavas. Because without Bodhi, you won't have got till here. Hope I could explain to you, Mrityunjay.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Any questions? Otherwise, I'm done for today. Yes, Ari.
Yeah, I think there's one last important sentence maybe you haven't broke down. Like the last sentence of what Buddha said. Bhikkhu Sabbāsava Samvara Samvutto Viharati.
Oh, I was so happy with this. He says, Yatha ko bhikkhave bhikkhuno ye āsava dasana pahata bada dasana pahina hoti ye āsava samvara pahata. Whatever I told you, the same thing is here. You know, they are called ayam uchati bhikkhave bhikkhu sabba āsava samyutto. So what is that you want to tell you?
Hear your explanation of the entire that last.
So you
verse.
you want me to give you a word by word exposition like what I did?
I mean, that's what you usually have done, right?
Yes. So you know samvara. Okay. Sabbāsava samvara samvutto viharati. Samvara, restraint. Samvutto, completely guarded. Viharati, he stays. Okay. Acchehi tanham. Ch kat han ichehi. Acchehi is chindati, is to cut off. What? Tanha, craving. Okay. Acchehi tanham. Vivattai samyojanam. Vivattai. Vivat is coming out of, turned away, removed, disentangled. From what? Samyojana. Fetters. What are these fetters? 10 fetters. Now, if I do it properly, the next time, the remaining 5 also should go away. So I'm just working out. Samma mana abhisamaya. Samma is rightly, completely. Mana, conceit, the I, the subtlest I. Abhisamaya, abhi is higher. Samaya, you've gone into the time of what? Of cutting it off. Antamakasi dukkhasa. Anta is ending. Akasi is broken. Dukkhasa, of the suffering. which is arhata phala. So bhikkhu sabbāsava samvara samvutto viharati acchehi tanham vivittai samyojanam samma mana visamaya antamakasi dukkhassa. For the last time, antamakasi is actually for the last time. You have seen the dukkha. One last time. So let's see if the Shenial's home is going to be my end.
Yes, sir, we wish.
So let's see, of having to make him an anagami, will I enter into the completion? Let's see. Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wondering this vivatta, is it same as the samvatta vivatta that stop circling of that? So you were circling around the samyojanas. These things made you circle. Now you stop. You stop circling them. Now it's unraveled because of that.
It's completely broken. The wheel is broken. With all your kind wishes and generosity, maybe it will happen. Let it happen. So let's see how I can end the defilements with these 6 steps. 7th one, result. And I had not read that last sentence where he says, this will give rise to this, this will give rise to this, this will give rise to this. I felt very happy. I have sincerely not read it. And I was telling that each is connected. It's nice. So dasanena pahatabba will give rise to samvara pahatabba. Samvara pahatabba will give rise to patisevanasa pahatabba. First 3 most important pahatabbas, giving up. Then it will give rise to 2, adhivasana and parivajjana. Then this will remove the Vinodanā. No longer am I going to tolerate. Vinodanā pahatabba. Utpanne papa akusale. Like that. Kama vitaka, vyapada vitaka, vihimsa vitaka, and papa akusala dhamma, which is 10 immoral deeds. Then the result. Sati sambodhanga, dhamma vichaya sambodhanga, virya sambodhanga, piti sambodhanga, pasaddhi sambodhanga, samadhi sambodhanga, upekka. And the Buddha's last words. Sabbāsava samvara samvutto viharati acchehi tanham vivattai. Sorry, vivattai, correct. Vivattai samyojanam samma mana visamaya antamakasi dukkhassa. For the last time ever, you saw the dukkha. So let's hope 2025 turn out to be like that. Yeah, thanks to everyone. Any other questions? Anything you want to discuss with this? Sabbāsava is no āsavas now. So where should you start? Dasanena pahatab. Yes.
Yeah, I guess the path starts with panya and ends with panya.
Always. Sila and samadhi are in between. Good observation. Yes, that's correct. Okay, so should we end? In fact, I have time for another 20 minutes. But today, I think we seem to be not having any words.
Sir, I found it little difficult to understand. To
Which
get
one?
the whole what we have discussed today, the links to get it absorbed, I'm finding it little difficult to understand. So I'm going to go back and read it again, and again listen to this recording.
Okay, no problem. I mean, which part you did not understand? Maybe I can help you.
Actually, I'm not able to get the linkage between how we started and each and every part. Means like I have to little bit. I mean, sit and analyze how it is working. All the links, so that.
Now, should I help you now, or you want to do it yourself?
No, if you can give the summary of what we have discussed, that will be great. Actually, I also sent you side by side message that if you can share the sutta to me for study. If you can share the summary, that will be great, sir.
See, it's very simple. First is dasanena pahatab. So we'll take Bobby and me as an example because recently I went to Australia. So I love Australia, or I love Brisbane or Queensland. That is kama asava. And I want to be in Queensland is Bhāvāsava. Okay, I need to see that it is started to form. So the whirlpool is forming. Right? So that is dasana. I'm seeing. By seeing the suffering. This is going to be suffering now. So ayoniso manasikara made me to go to Australia now. Meaning, I have not yet gone to Australia, but now I'm started to dream when I will be in Australia. So now I am doing ayoniso manasikara. So now what happens? Anutpanno kama vitakka will start. So that will create kamasava. Then it will give me bhavasava, desire to be reborn. Reborn doesn't mean that I need to be, it's actually re-existence, not reborn. In English, they have given desire to be reborn. It is not jati is reborn. It is re-existence. I want to exist in Australia. Isn't it true? And the answer is yes. Should I stay with Bobby? And the answer is yes. Why? Because Bobby stays in Australia or Queensland, and I have now fallen in love. So I'd like to go back to that place. And that is increasing ignorance. So kamasava, bhavasava, avijjasava, all the three will start. Now I will say that whatever I do, every time I have to exit out of Australia, which makes no sense. Even if I get a citizenship, death will cut my stay in Australia forever. So should I fight for going there? No. Should I reject going there? No. So I apply manasikara, yoniso manasikara, proper discernment, and see Australia is just a name. It's just a land, and a land which is developed by humans for their living. And there is nothing out there. So the interest for going into Australia goes, which brings me to Samvara. This is the second one. Then I will not get my eyes hooked on to Queensland, ears hooked on to Queensland, nose hooked onto that, tongue and body and mind. If I do that, then I will come to the third one, which is Patisevana. So when I stay at Shaniel's home or Bobby's home or whosoever home, I'll just make use of the lodgings. It doesn't matter. I just make use of my clothing. I just make use of food. And I just make use of medicines because these are prerequisites for living. And that helps me in adhivasana. I will endure the hunger, the thirst, cold, heat, and other things. Then parivajjana, avoid going to wrong places and wrong time and wrong things and all that. Then I will not allow Vinodanā, for the defilements to take shape. That is kama vitakka, vyapada vitakka, abhihimsa vitakka, and then papa akusala dhamma. That will make me enter into the 7 bojjhanga. This is a summary, Archana, with an example.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
So should I go to Australia? And the answer is no, don't get into Australia in the mind. That's all. So the āsavas will not be there. Bobby, if you are able to speak, then you can add, otherwise it's okay.
Oh, sorry, Vilashi, about what? Sorry.
No, what I'm saying is, should I be in Australia or not? And whatever I explained on Queensland, from the first Sastanena Pahatappa to Vinodanā, and then the 7 bojjhangas. So if you want to add something on the example, you can add, is what I said.
No, and yeah, whatever I understand is that, what the example you are giving about Australia, don't take Australia to the heart. It is to the mind. Other than that, you coming here, going, and all doesn't matter. So,
Exactly.
yeah.
So the ending of suffering is, if I am established, existed in Australia, in Queensland, then the suffering begins. Jati pi dukkha, jara pi dukkha, vyadhi pi dukkha, maranam pi dukkham, all that is going to happen. Because this Saturday, that is tomorrow, will be 2 weeks of exit from Australia, almost. So dead, departed. Arrived on 3rd April, departed 27th April. re-existence can be possible. But that 2nd, 3rd April to 27th or 26th April can never come back. In the same way, December 22nd to 13th Jan can never ever come back. I might come to US again, but it's a new existence. That existence is gone. It's completely wiped out. So the time we spent, myself, Ariu, Vrinda and Chirag, only remains in the death piles of the memories. So if we go to photos.google.com and then we access that dead pile of photographs, which has no meaning. In the same way, from 3rd of April to the 26th of April or 27th of April early morning, when Bobby, myself, Marin parted, death ensured. So sorrow, lamentation, everything happened. Shoka parideva dukkha domana supayasa sambhavanti. It happened. Death is the same state. When I gave the passport and that electronic thing exited me, that's it. Officially out of Australia. In the same way, when I was standing in San Francisco International Airport, when that officer took my passport, exit, dead. So every arrival is a birth and every departure is death in the same bhava. So if somebody who have still a confusion on bhava versus jati, they can look it this way. Every time I visit America or every time I visit Australia, consider them as heaven. And every time I visit back to India, call it as hell. Or human life, okay, just for the sake of fun, right? Don't take it too seriously. Now, every time I exit out of India, it's a change of the bhava. No. Change of jati. Yes. Why no change in bhava? Because even if I say it is heaven, it is not. Because it is still in the same bhava. So aren't you having multiple jati? Yes. You are seeing different things. You are hearing different things. You are tasting different things. You are smelling different things. You are touching different things. Different than what you were. The roads are different. The environment is different. The trees are different. The birds are different. I couldn't find a kangaroo here in Bangalore. Maybe someone will bring here because they bring even a camel in Bangalore from somewhere. So maybe they might one day bring kangaroo here. But I could only find kangaroo when I went. And if I go to New Zealand, then I might get kiwi. Whatever. So basically, isn't it change of jati? Yes. In the same bhava? Yes. So how many jatis I have? When I went to America, I had an American jati. When I came out from America, I became Indian jati. Then again I went to Australia, I got Australian Jati, and then when I came out of Australia, I became Indian Jati. Correct? In the same bhava. And even if I call Australia and America as heaven, no, sir, your bhava is not ended. Yeah, Jati is ended. So in the passport or in the boarding pass, they check the boarding pass and they put a seal departed in India. So 22nd of December, they departed me. I said goodbye to all my loved ones because I may not meet them again for a few more days, few more months, few more years. They are dead. They lead their life, I lead my life. They're dead. When I landed in San Francisco, a new set of people came over and a new set of environment. Isn't that Jati? Arrived. So departed there, arrived here. So this arrival card, where will you put it? On the passport. So when you give the passport, he checks for the visa and he allows you inside. So they allowed me inside. Excellent. Now you can't stay there forever. So can you see through dasana? Every day you are dying and ultimately you are kicked out of America. You have to go. No, sir, I don't want to go. You have to go. So 13th of January, I died in San Francisco, precisely at 5 p.m. when I left Mountain View, or 4 p.m. and left Ariu and Chirag for good. Yes, Archana ji.
Sir, then can't we say this like daily we travel to our workplace, we come back?
Yeah,
So-
it's same. It's same. If you are able to apply it, then you will apply yam kinchi samudaya dhammam sabbam tam nirodha dhammam iti. Now you are perfect in dhamma.
Great. Right.
When you leave your house, you're dead in the house. When you come to the office, you're alive in office. When you leave office, you're dead in office. And when you arrive at home, you are alive. So you depart and arrive and depart and arrive and depart and arrive and ultimately get out of this body. Yes, Archana. Yeah, sorry, Ari, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm wondering because in this example you give, let's say, I have a job, every day I'm going there, so every day it's a new jati. And as so far as I hold this job, it's my bhava hasn't ended. But every day I come to home, that's a different bhava, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so in this case, the jati kind of interleaves when there's two bhava. But in the, the rebirths in the samsara, does it happen like that? Or is jati interleaved? No.
I just want to give you, it's almost like that, but it's not like that, just to understand the gravity of situation. It's a gravity situation, just a gravity situation. So we can understand what's happening. Because if there is samudaya, there is nirodha. If I'm arising in the office, there is a departure there from some other place, right? So when Ashwin is going to pick me up in the evening, is he picking up the same Vilas whom he dropped in the morning? No. It's a different Vilas who is coming back to home. But in the same bhava. Okay, that is it then. Have a great day and a great evening, Ariu, and hope to see you in the same bhava but a different jati tomorrow.